Hey, it's me, Bree. It's late at night. I messed up my sleep schedule being sick, so ignore the patches on my face and everything. But just coming to do a quick video. I guess we're gonna do something, and we're gonna crochet. So, I've been in like a crochet slump recently, and just haven't been feeling it. I've been trying to make a lot of hats and stuff, but I haven't been posting things. So I got a bunch of like stuff I made that I need to sell, but it hasn't happened. So I figured to help get myself out the slump, I'll make something for myself. So I was looking at my yarn and I got all of this. Let me show y'all. I got 3 of these. The one of the yellow, I got all of these on clearance. Yeah, so I was trying to decide what to make with it. This yarn's really soft and the color's really cute. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to make like a dress or like a top and maybe some bottoms, like something. So at first I was thinking like a dress, but now I'm kind of thinking, okay, hear me out. I'm thinking kind of like a sleeveless turtleneck. So kind of like how this shirt is, but turtleneck, make it cropped, and then with like bell sleeves, like detached bell sleeves. Like I guess kind of Hatsune Miku kind of look. I've been down a rabbit hole of VTuber drama, so maybe that's why I was thinking that. But yeah, I also really want to make like a ruffle skirt. I don't know if I want to do that with this, but I think that's the top we're gonna make. Do I know exactly how to do that? No. I'm also missing a lot of my hooks. Like a lot more hooks than normal, which is crazy. But that's neither here nor there. Hopefully, I find them. I need to get a better bag to hold my hooks in. But yeah, I watched a little tutorial on how to make the top. Well, I watched the last half because I watched the first half ages ago. I'm probably just gonna wing it. That's what I normally do. But I've been wanting something with like bat sleeves for a good minute. And I don't know. I feel like especially with this being solid, it'll be cute. Hopefully, I think. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And maybe some bottoms. I feel like I should have enough yarn left over to be able to make bottoms. And then the yellow just like as kind of like an accent color because I only have one ball of the yellow. But yeah. Alright, doing something I don't really do, and that's actually writing stuff down and taking measurements. So I measured my waist where I want the shirt to stop. I measured up to my armpit, and then I measured to the top of my shoulder, and then I measured around my neck. This will be 2 panels working from like side to side, and I think I'm going to actually do the neck in yellow. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to use yellow just kind of as an accent. I'm also doing a waffle stitch because I didn't want just a basic stitch, I don't think. So I watched a video on how to do a waffle stitch. I'm only like, technically I'm on row 3. And I am kind of writing down what I do. So to get like to my armpit, I chained 30 and then she did +4. So we did that. I'm not going to be able to do exactly how the pattern I saw did it because she like increased by 1 each time. And for this, I'd have to increase by 3. I don't think that would be right. So we're just going to do one length till we get here and then increase it up to where it'll hit my shoulder. Yeah. I'm back. It's like 2 days later. My stomach hasn't been feeling well, but I got a little energy now. So we're going to crochet in the rocking chair. Let me show how far I've gotten. Not far at all before I fell asleep. But we're going to keep going on this top. My yarn is already looking scarce-ish. Hopefully that's just the cake collapsing. I thought I was going to say something else. Oh, I'm trying to keep count of my rows and write them down in my book. Because I do also have to make a second panel, so yeah. Okay, so I feel like I'm maybe almost halfway done with this top part. But I just realized I had measured this to like the top of my shoulder, not thinking of the pack that we got next. So I was like just holding it on my body and like The shoulder part, that makes sense, but that doesn't. So now I'm thinking, do I need a decrease for the neck? And then I thought again, well, I'm adding a turtleneck to it. So I think it could be flat, but instead of measuring up to my shoulder, I should have measured just up to my neck. Because this has stretch. So it probably stretched to my shoulder anyways. If I would have just measured it to my neck. This would make it too long if I wore it like that. Yeah, because I think I should just measure to my neck and still made it square. And it would have been fine when it stretches when you put it on. And I don't need a decrease from the neck, because if I make it like that loop, the turtleneck might not sit right. So now I'm thinking this might be the back panel. Then I'll do the front panel shorter. And then this will come up over the shoulders. And then now I'm thinking though, if I do that, back panels I think a lot of times are longer. Like that's okay. Because I don't have enough boobas to, yeah. But I'm also afraid that if I do that, it's just gonna sit weird in the back and the turtleneck's gonna stretch. I don't want to undo all of this though. Like, I'd have to undo all these rows and make them like this much shorter. And that's a lot. I don't feel like it. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do this as the back panel. And then when I make the next panel, make it shorter. I just need to put that in my notebook so I remember. I need to go to bed, though. So, did I show y'all what I finished? Okay. Finished. This is going to be the back panel. Been taking my notes and all. This is the yarn from the first cake. And this is how far I got. I got up to starting the neck part. Oh, and I went too far. I already messed up. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have to take some of those off. But yeah, I grabbed another cake. I accidentally followed my pattern before, even though I said I wouldn't. And I even wrote down that I wouldn't. So I got to figure out how much to take off to just reach like the neck. Which seems like, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 would be even. So if that's that, maybe more than 9 need to come off. 9, so 10, 11, 12. Maybe if I take off like 12. So if that's pit level, right here. Oh, I did the standing up. Yeah. That should be fine. Yeah, so I think I'm going to reduce it by 12. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I think I'm going to reduce this by 12. So instead of 30, whatever 30 minus 12, 20, 19, 18. So do 18. This has to be a multiple of 3 instead of 12. So now I got to frog these 2 rows. We'll frog what I've done here and then frog down to here. We should be good to keep going. But yeah. So I should have enough yarn to at least finish the top. Alright, I finished my top part. Made it shorter, so yeah. Now I just gotta figure out how much to leave for the neck hole. And sew these panels together. The string that I cut to sew this, I just cut it slightly too short. Annoying, but yeah. Almost done stitching up the first side. Alright, got the side sewn. Trying it on. I think this will work. with the back being slightly longer than the front. I'm trying to figure out the best place to put my hood, or not my hood, the neck hole, how far to go. I just need this to still be able to stretch over my head, but I also want it to be like a turtleneck. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3 squares in on either side. Am I counting this? 1, 2, 3. These end slightly different. This end's like right at the end of a square, and this one's like half a square, so that's weird, but I think that it won't be too noticeable. And I'm gonna do like a yellow. Oh dang, it is noticeable. Wait, I gotta figure this out. Well, I made the neck hole too small, so we're gonna have to remove a few stitches from this. My head doesn't fit through. I thought it would have more stretch. Does not. All right, neck hole is now the perfect size. And it fits. Are you brushing your? Oh, you're getting that off. Okay. Yeah, that actually looks really good, I think. Now I have to decide what I want the sleeves to look like. And then I think I'm gonna do, oh, I need to still do the neck. And then I gotta think about what I want the sleeves exactly to look like. I know I want bell sleeves. Just don't know how I want to make them. Yeah. Alright. I think that's high enough for the collar. I wish it didn't bend out like that. I'm hoping that doing a finishing stitch will fix that. I did like to make it where it's like some lines come out and some lines go in. I don't know what you would call that stitch, but that's what I did. Because I thought it would match well with the waffle stitch. Alright, I do think I'm going to do the yellow around the sleeves and the bottom at least. I was thinking maybe on the seams, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to finish this collar off, and I think I'm going to add the details to the arms and the bottom. Okay, did my finishing slip stitch around the neck. Almost made it too tight. It did make it too tight. I had to undo it and redo it because I could not get it over my head. Still barely got it over my head this time, but I think that'll work. I wish it was tighter, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, now it's time for the sleeves, and I'm trying to decide how I want to do them. I looked up some sleeves. Most people do like a mesh stitch, which makes sense because it's a lot to do. So I just was playing around with some double crochet meshes, and then I did a treble also. This one, the first two, I did it like in the middle, and then this one I did right on top. I honestly though might do waffle for like the first arm part and then mesh stitch it as I make it bigger. That's what I'm thinking. So we're gonna figure that out. I also have to decide how to make the colors work together. I have one full ball of this one left and less than half, because it took only like maybe 1 1/4 to make each half of the top, or no, like 3/4 to make each half of the top. So yeah, and then almost this whole thing in yellow. So gotta figure it out. All right, I've been working on the sleeve. This is where I'm at. I want to get it to like the elbow area, which I'm already almost there. And then I got to figure out how I want to do like the flare, because I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're getting somewhere. Oh, I'll have to show y'all how I did the sleeve. I kind of wanted the sleeve to match the top in some way, like how the top is like waffle stitch. I didn't want to just do a regular double crochet, which I didn't. It looks like it on this side, but this would be the inside, just like with the waffle stitch. If I turn it the other way, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but you can see some texture. So I used a similar technique to the waffle stitch. So I'm doing an even number of double crochets, well, divisible by 4 technically. Minus 1. Anyways, that's not the point. Point is, I'm doing 2 on top and then 2 behind the post, and then 2 on top, 2 behind the post. And then I'm alternating where I do that. So you get these little, again, I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but there's bumped up lines. Like every other row is bumped. And I think it just adds like I think it's an interesting texture. I don't know if it really matters. I don't know if like just normal double crochets would have basically looked the same. But in person, I can see the like the texture of like the 2 bumped up stitches that alternate, and I like it. It kind of gives me a feeling of like brick. I don't know if there's a name for that. I'm sure there is, because I'm using, again, the similar as the going behind the posts like I did with the double crochets, and like how I made the ridges on the turtleneck. But this would be the inside of the sleeve, which looks smooth. It really does just look like normal double crochets on the inside. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to wear it like that, you could. It could be reversible, where it's textured on one side and not. Oh, I think you can see the difference. You can see the texture versus not texture. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And then I got to figure out a pattern for making the back sleeve. I don't know if I want to just do normal like double crochets or like a mesh stitch maybe, or something more fun. I don't know. Okay, I'm about to start crying while watching My Hero Academia, but it's neither here nor there. My sleeve, guys, I'm so excited. It looks so good. It looks better than I could have imagined. I don't think I said, but I did decide to do a pattern for the flare. So I'm using treble crochets for the flare, and I'm going like on regular on top of the stitch, and then the next round I go under the post, kind of like I did for the waffle top, and how similar but not exactly how I did on the sleeve. Since on the sleeve I did like 2 on top, 2 on post, 2 on top, 2 on post, and then flipped it the next time, but trying to keep up with that while also doing the increases needed for the bell sleeve, I feel like would have been too hard to keep up with. So just going every row. So the sleeve isn't smooth because the top is textured, the top part of the sleeve is textured, so I wanted the bell to have a texture too, but I didn't want to do too much. But look at it, look at how this is looking. That's so cute, and it's pretty far down. I think here is where I'm going to switch to the yellow, so that it's about half of the orange or coral and then half yellow. And I still have quite a bit of yarn left, it feels, so I don't think I'm going to run out, which was kind of becoming a concern. These funfetti cakes, I feel like they have a lot of yarn in them. And normally something like this where I'm doing lots of increases, I'm just increasing by 6 every row. But I love the way it's looking. I love the ridges on it. And the flare is nice and big. And I'm almost down my arm. I'm gonna finish this up, and then I gotta do another one. Alright, that last video was showing where I was at with that sleeve in the yellow. It was, I think, far enough, but I would like maybe 2 more rows on it. But I feel like I'm getting light on my yellow. Like, I was keeping an eye on how much yellow I have left. It's feeling light. I don't think I'm gonna run out, but I'm a little paranoid. So I started working on the next sleeve instead. Make sure I got enough of this one. And then once I get this one high enough, I'm probably going to do the yellow on this one up to where it is on the other one, and then see where I'm at. I have a feeling. I'm also kind of getting low on my peach, so I think it should be enough though. I'm already pretty far on this one. We're only going to work about an hour tonight because I have a super early client, earlier than I normally do. So yeah, we're going to turn on some anime and just get a little bit of crochet in. All right, I made it up to this sleeve where I switched colors on this sleeve. I actually still have some of this left, a good amount actually, I feel. This yarn goes a long way, is what I'm feeling. I only have 4 balls of it. I still have like quite a bit of the yellow left, so I actually feel comfortable now doing like 2 more rows on this sleeve of yellow before switching sleeves. Yeah, because this is way more than I had when I even started my increases here. And as you can see, I made it up, which like each row takes more yarn because I'm increasing, but it feels like this should be more than this is. I feel like it's still like maybe like half a ball of it. Yeah, so I think 2 more rows on this sleeve and then we'll switch. I just don't know how I want to finish it off. My only thing is I don't know if I have enough of this to do a border, like an orange border on the end of each sleeve. I don't even know if I want that though. I might want to tint in the yellow. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm freaking out because I decided to try the top on with the almost finished sleeve just to see like how it's all looking together. And I'm like freaking out because I love how good this looks. Like, here's the top and the sleeve. Oh my gosh. I'm wearing a corset right now, but yeah, see how it almost covers my whole wrist? I want my whole wrist covered at least, but like, I'm freaking out. Every decision I made is coming together, and that's what I was afraid of. But like, the texture on the sleeve is so nice, and the ridges on the bell, I love the ridges. And I love the way the waffle stitch looks on the top. I think it looks better in person than it does on camera. If I turn, okay, because I got a ring light over there. So if I turn sideways, it catches the light a lot better. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy with how this is turning out so far. And I'm glad I was taking notes the entire time. Because, y'all, I'm dying. This is so cute. This is so cute. All right. I know I included a clip of me working at a lounge. I need to put a voiceover on it. So anyways, that's not the point. The point is I had to undo part of the sleeve. I started on my second sleeve. That's what that whole thing was about. We'll see if it stays in. Anyways, doesn't matter. Started on my second sleeve. I was doing the yellow on the second sleeve and I felt like I wasn't increasing enough. I stopped counting my increases and just started visually looking where there were increases before because I just have to increase into every increase. But I noticed at one point I started only doing like 3 increases a row instead of 6. So I found where I messed up and it was really early on in the sleeve. So I had to undo all the yellow and then undo a lot of my coral color because it was so early on and I was almost done when I realized my mistake. So we're starting back on the sleeve with the correct number of increases while watching My Hero Academia. I'm obsessed with the show at the moment. It's also really cold in my house, so we got heated blanket, regular blanket, and a heater on. Anyways, just wanted to come and say that. Also, on my first sleeve, I was trying to show it, but it didn't really show up very well. I did finish it, and I finished it off with just a single stitch. No, slip stitch on the end, but I don't know if I like that. I feel like it needs something bumped out. Like it needs to pop out like the ridges in the sleeves. I'd like it to end with a ridge, but the way I was making the ridges, they happen, it pops out the row below it. So I don't know. I'll probably not just finish it with a slip stitch. I want some kind of border on the sleeve. I just don't know what border I want. So yeah, we're going to fix this and then figure out the border. All right, I think we're playing yarn chicken now. I'm starting on the second bump on my yellow, which means I have to finish the rest of this round I just started and then do one more full round and then do my slip stitch to end it. And this is all the yarn I have in the yellow. It is about as much of this pink as I had left from finishing up the pink. And I know I use a lot of yarn on these last ones. So now I'm worried. I was so sure I had enough yarn. I was not worried. Now I'm worried. Literally, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. It's so close. I'm going to be so sad if I don't have enough yarn for these last 2 rounds. So sad. So, fingers crossed. All right, bad angle. But just as I anticipated, I ran out. This is like all the yarn I have, and I have 1 row left on here. Absolutely no way. So I tried it on already with it like this. It looks good. So I think I'm going to slip stitch this. I might not even have enough for that, but I have to undo the slip stitch in the last row on this one, which I like this better. But in the grand scheme of things, missing that 1 row doesn't mess with my length too much on the sleeves after trying it on. So we're going to undo the last, oh no, we're going to slip stitch here and just be done with it. We're going to undo the last row and undo the slip stitch on here, then re-slip stitch it. And then I think maybe I'll actually have enough to add a yellow border on the back of these sleeves, which I really want to do. So yeah, that is what we're about to do now. And yeah. Okay, I was testing different ways to end this project. The slip stitch wasn't my favorite, especially if I have like 1 less row. So I was playing around with single crochet endings. So just playing around. I did some single crochets into both loops, some into just the back loops, and some just into the front loops. Well, turns out that the thing that I liked, what the effect that I like the most was going into front loops only. Going into front loops and going into back loops made a slightly different effect. And I like going into the front loops. Problem was it created the effect on the wrong side of my project. Because of going under the posts, what would I think a lot of times be the outside of the project is actually the wrong side. What would normally be the right side of the project is now the wrong side of the project. I'm working my project inside out because of the techniques I'm using. So going into the front stitches, put the thing that I liked on the inside, the wrong side of the project. So what I did was I turned my project for the first time. I've been crocheting in the round, decided to turn my project and then go into the front loops only. And that gave me the border I like. See how they're like real close together? I don't know why. I just really like that. I think it finishes off real nicely. And going through the back loops didn't quite make that same look. I think it's because the top stitches didn't turn in towards the front loop. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know this is what I like. That's what I had to do. So single crochet, front loops only, but I had to turn the work to get the stitches to look the way I wanted. So that's what we're doing. Already coming to the end of the yarn on the first sleeve. I already undid the row that I didn't need anymore. Here's that ball. I forgot there was a factory knot. So yeah, that is what we're doing to end this sleeve off. Then we'll do the same thing on the other sleeve. And I should have enough. I'm going from treble crochets with an increase to single crochets, no increase. So I feel like I should definitely have yarn left enough to do like a very simple slip stitch border on this part of the sleeve. So yeah, I hope that made sense. Okay, we're finally done. It's finally over. I have tucked all the ends, clipped everything that was loose, and now this top is done. Y'all, look at this. The back. This is, I'm surprised at how perfect this came out. I have trouble getting the neck hole over my own head sometimes, especially with my hair, but I'm I'm obsessed. It fits so good. The sleeves look like how I wanted the sleeves to look like. Look at that. Look at that bell sleeve. The colors also do go together so well. I think I wish I could get the neck tighter, but then it wouldn't go over my head. So it's okay. And then I was worried that the waffle stitch with the colorway of the yarn wouldn't like read very well. But I actually love the way it looks, especially in person. I think the waffle stitch reads a lot better in person. I also was scared about how I did the sleeves when I started them. And also wasn't sure that that was going to read. But I do feel like the texture on the sleeves is perfect. I think the idea to go back loops on the bell sleeve was a great idea. There's some like big holes in some spots, but I think that's okay. But like, I do think the treble crochet gave us a nice wobbly sleeve. Yes! Oh my gosh! And they stay up mostly. That was a little slippery. That slipped just a smidgen. But like, is this not so cute? My first time ever making a top. I've made shorts. I've made pants. I've never made a shirt though. And I did technically run out of yarn, but luckily it wasn't that hard to like just remove one row from the sleeves to get like what I wanted. I'm just so shocked that because I put this together like I had an idea just of like the top and the sleeves, but like how to match the colors and what stitches to use was all like on the fly. But I do love that I did the yellow detailing. I feel like it just pulls the yellow in even more so it doesn't look like random where it's just on the neck and on the sleeves. I think adding this doesn't show up as much. I guess I could have single crocheted the yellow right there, but I think it just adds like the perfect pop. It makes it all look so cute. I don't know where I'll ever wear this, but I'm so happy, and I love bell sleeves. I love how big and flobbly the sleeves are. I really do. Like, yeah. Yes, guys. Is this not the cutest? It is also crazy how much yarn it takes to do an increase like this. Like the fact that I ran out of yellow and like here, and then the hems are all the places I have yellow. But I did have three things of the coral. And that did the top and the rest of the sleeves. But yeah. Yes, I'm so excited. Tell me if you like this. I might try to make another one and maybe dabble in some pattern making. I didn't fully come up with this pattern. I mean, I feel like it's not something that like anyone who crochets couldn't figure out on their own. Outside of like the stitching that I use. I took notes. I'm not a pattern writer. I don't make tutorials. I'm still fairly new to crocheting myself. So yeah, I kind of just make stuff up as I go. And when it works, it works. And yeah, I'm just so happy. And I follow tutorials, typically YouTube tutorials. Let me add that in. I don't just make everything up on my own. Or I like half follow tutorials, I should say. I'll watch a tutorial once and then most of the time, like, I might tweak some things to make it make more sense for myself. But yeah. I did slip stitch on one sleeve a little tighter than the other because my tension was different when making the two different sleeves. So I think it's this one. This one is just slightly, I think, looser than this one is. So I had to make sure the part that stays up on the arm actually stays up. I think it stays up pretty good. I'll have to wear it for a while because the sleeves I think are probably a little bit heavy. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope that if anybody actually watches it, they like it. What do you think about my first attempt at a top? It has not been washed or blocked or anything. I do think it'll probably fit better if I like wash it or something. I've never blocked anything, but I might wash it. But yeah, I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed with these sleeves so much. Oh my gosh. I think next I'm going to fix one of my crochet things. Oh, I have some shorts that kind of fell apart when I did wash them. And I have to fix a little section of stitching so that they don't keep unraveling. Maybe that's next. I don't know. We'll find out. Bye, y'all.